What's up and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about 90 Day Fiance. This is Happily Ever After, Season 4, Episode 2, and the title of this episode is In for a Shock. Starting off with Colt and Larissa. Larissa feels deadly afraid to say certain things in front of Colt and his mom, so she interviews with production outside in their van. Colt tries to make it seem like the issues are just between Larissa and his mother, but we all know that that's a lie. That's not the case. They have issues as well. Let's move on to Nicole and Azan. So Nicole says that her and Azan are having relationship problems due to the distance between them. While at the park, she decides to FaceTime Azan. She wants to plan a vacation to another country where he wouldn't need a tourist visa. So Azan says that he doesn't think that it's a good idea. And Nicole even mentions a time where she lost a couple thousand due to them denying Azan entry. They tried to take, a vacation before. When the producer wanted to know why Azan was denied entry, Nicole played dumb, like she didn't know, but I bet that he has a criminal record. Nicole says that the place they chose, she's looking forward to sharing a room and making out. Azan seemed very uncomfortable when she said that. He didn't seem like he was like, yeah, I can't wait to spend time with you. He kind of seemed like, oh God. Let's move on to Chantel and Pedro. So Chantel says that she's trying to find common ground, so she's willing to move to Savannah, Georgia. While in the car, Pedro says that he thought about the move more and decided it wouldn't be the best thing to do. He then adds that he wants to go to the DR to be with his family and friends. So he wants to go back and visit as soon as possible to be with his family and friends. So while they're driving, she gets a call from her mom and she puts her mom on speaker. Chantel's mom invites both her and Pedro to Thanksgiving dinner. Pedro makes it clear to Chantel that he won't be going. Let's move on to Elizabeth and Andrei. They go to get a ultrasound to get the gender of the baby and also to just know the health. The text says that the baby looks healthy and she reveals that they're having a girl. They both seem to be very happy about what they're having as long as the baby is healthy. Elizabeth adds that her family wanted to be there for the ultrasound and will be hurt that she didn't allow them to be a part. Let's go back to Colt and Larissa. Colt and Debbie go out to get away from Larissa. He says that his mom is his best friend. Debbie says that Colt has changed since he met Larissa. Debbie is pressed about Larissa flushing that ring down the toilet, and she even starts crying. Now, I don't know if it was the fact that she had that margarita and no food on her system because she barely touched her plate. So I don't know if that contributed to the fake tears, but Colt, however, he bought it. And, I feel bad for my mother. She's too old to be going through this, and just a whole bunch of foolishness. Let's go to Russ and Pao. So they're driving to Oklahoma to see Russ's family, and they're throwing them a baby shower. So that's the reason that they're going back. Russ explains that he comes from a conservative family and they had to adjust to Pao, her style of dress, the things that she chooses to wear. She flaunts her body. They really had to get used to that. Let's move on to Jay and Ashley. So Jay goes to a barbershop, that same barbershop that he went to before, and he ends up talking to the fellas about the whole Tinder situation. They encourage him to make things right if he wants to stay in his marriage. Let's go back to Nicole and Azan. Nicole goes to a staffing agency looking for temp work because she's trying to plan this vacation. And the girl doesn't even bring a resume. Like, how do you go to a staffing agency looking for a job, but you don't bring a resume? And then she used the excuse that she didn't have the time. The more this girl talks, it's just incredibly sad to me. This girl has no goals or no plans but to chase after Azan. And it's pathetic to me. She has a child and her motivation should be establishing something for her daughter. But it's all about being with Azan. Even when she gets to, or if she gets to Morocco, she still doesn't have a plan. Let's go back to Chantel and Pedro. Chantel goes to visit her brother, River, while he's in the studio. He expresses after the fight he felt shut out by his sister, being that he felt like he was standing up for her. Chantel tells her brother that night was Pedro's fault, and she's hoping that he will apologize to him. River says that where he stands, he's not focused on making any type of amends with Pedro, nor accepting an apology. Chantel says that it's exhausting going between two sides, her family and her husband. She wishes that they all could be together. River tells the camera crew that things won't be the same because Chantel continues to stay with someone who is disrespectful to her and her family, and he feels that she needs to wake up from dreamland and get her head out of the clouds in regards to this marriage. Let's go back to Colt and Larissa. So Larissa tells Colt that if he does another bad thing to her, she will file for divorce. Now, all of their interactions end up in an argument, and it's obvious that this marriage should have never happened in the first place. Let's go back to Russ and Pao. So they've landed in Oklahoma, and Pao feels very anxious. Her biggest thing seems to be feeling accepted by Russ's family, and once they get to their hotel, Russ dropped the news that he won't be staying for the baby shower. Russ encourages her to go with the flow and not to overthink things. He really wants things to go well because he has a job opportunity in Oklahoma, but Pao doesn't know yet. So this should be interesting. Let's go back to Jay and Ashley. So Jay gets Chinese food thinking that that's gonna smooth things over, and Ashley wasn't impressed. He then wants to know the status of the adjustments of status. And Ashley says that she's in no rush to sign those papers when she doesn't even know if their relationship will last. She doesn't want to take the risk, and then if they don't work out, she'd be responsible for him for 10 years. Let's go back to Elizabeth and Andrei. So Elizabeth's mom is throwing a gender reveal party, and Andrei says that he's not looking forward to being around Elizabeth's family. Andrei tells Elizabeth's father that he's going to be the provider. The fool, I'm so sorry, but he's a fool. He's still living in her father's rental property for free. The whole time he was talking, I was rolling my eyes like, the first thing to do before you tell somebody you don't need them anymore, you would need to move out of their place. They're allowing you to stay there for free. Get a job and pay bills. Before you step to that man with that nonsense talking about you got this and all of that, they are really your saving grace right now, because without them, what would you be doing? And then you guys have added a baby to the mix. So it's like you can't even provide for you and just your wife. So how are things going to be when that baby comes? They're going to need the support of their family because they're not in a position to do it on their own yet. So he really gets on my nerves. Let's go back to Chantel and Pedro. Chantel is all dressed and ready to go to her parents for Thanksgiving dinner, and Pedro stands his ground and says that he is not going. He feels no one apologized to him, and Chantel's mother says that she issued an apology at the reunion. While having dinner, they discuss Pedro's absence and that the family feels like Pedro should have come and tried to make things right with them. Chantel's mother then says the situation taught her to stay on ready. She then brings out her newly purchased taser, and I think that Pedro and her family should just hang it on up, expecting an apology, because no one thinks that they were in the wrong that night, and no one wants to take accountability. Chantel needs to take accountability. She was bringing a lot of her drama, her marital problems to her family. Her family should know when and when not to bring certain things up and allow their daughter, because she's grown, this is the marriage she wanted, allow her to find her way. It's okay to give people encouragement or to give them advice, but you got to know when to pump the brakes. And this is where they pushed it a little too far. So had they just had the dinner and actually focused on getting to know one another, fellowshipping with one another, everybody has to take accountability for the role they played, and everybody's at fault, in my opinion. Last, let's talk about Colt and Larissa. So the trial is finally here, and Colt says that he wants this to be over and is extremely stressed. He's going to work because he says that he can't be there since he's the one that called the police on her. So Debbie is going to be the one to drive her to court. Debbie feels Larissa getting deported would be for the best. So I need to hear your thoughts on 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. This is season 4, episode 2, and the title of this episode is In for a Shock. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this episode. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Share this video with a friend who also loves watching 90 Day Fiance. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified on the next time I make an upload. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.